How many of you out there got an email from Amazon today talking about long-term storage fees and about how if you set up a removal order, you do not get to send it back until after a certain date? How many of you have received that email from Amazon? If you do, say yes. If you haven't, said no. All right. Kelly did. Christy did not. Someone else did. Someone else did not. Paul did. So earlier this week, though, yeah, it's funny. Amazon sometimes will send everybody the same email at the same time. Sometimes Amazon will send an email out that is like, what do you call it? Where it's like, some people get it on Monday, some people get it on Tuesday, and it's kind of, just kind of staggered like that. Staggered, is that the right word? I don't know. Staggered. I was right. All right, thank you for my beautiful wife to confirm that I was saying the right thing. That's good. Okay, so yeah, Amazon sent an email out reminding you of what your latest long-term storage fees are going to be if none of those items sell and if none of those items are set up for a removal order. And so, again, it's a big deal because items that have been in Amazon longer than 6 months will be charged $11.25 per cubic foot, and anything that's been over at Amazon for over 24 months, or excuse me, over 12 months, will be charged $22.50 per cubic foot. So that can be a pretty big deal. A couple years ago, I almost was charged over $150 worth of long-term storage fees, but I did what I could to avoid those and was able to knock it down. If you want to see information on the blog on how to avoid long-term storage fees, you can go to fulltimefba.com/avoid LTSF. If you go to that site, I give you all of my tips on how to avoid long-term storage fees. And I also talk about, sometimes paying a long-term storage fee is the right thing to do. If you've got 2 items of something and it's going to cost you, if it's going to cost you 30 cents for a long-term storage fee for that one item, well, I wouldn't pay 50 cents to have it returned to you, because that's just, I'd rather pay 30 cents and just keep it there at the Amazon FBA warehouse. I wouldn't even lower my cost of it yet. I might not lower it, because it's just going to charge me 30 cents for that one item. So there's some items you should pay the long-term storage fees on, some that you shouldn't. But Amazon announced that if you set up a removal order trying to avoid the long-term storage fees, that you will not be able to send in additional units of these ASINs until April 15th of 2016. And so it's just something to be thinking about. If you're setting up removals to get them back, just to send them right back to Amazon after February 15th, you're not going to be able to. You have to wait until April 15th. So that's just something to know about. They did this at Christmas time too. I think it was August 1st, they sent out the email that said that you wouldn't be able to send anything back in. If you set up a removal order, you wouldn't be able to send it back in until after December 1st, which I think is still plenty of time for it to sell for the Christmas season, but it's still a long time, and you lose 2 whole months of Q4 by having to wait until December 1st. But we're not in Q4, we're in Q1, and we're having some good times, and you can send this back in, that stuff back in come Q2. So anyway, just want to make sure everyone knew about that. Always read every one of your emails from Amazon. I know sometimes they send emails that are really annoying, don't have anything to really even do with what you're up to. They suggest you lower prices on things that you're like, no, I ain't lowering my price on that. But it's still a good idea to read all of your emails from Amazon. So yes, let's jump in to the questions. Are your sourcers paid as independent contractors? Yes. We pay our sourcers as an independent contractor. In fact, about a week ago, I gave her her first, her 1099 form. And so, yeah, we pay them as an independent contractor, and that's what we do. I believe it's $600 is the if I paid them over $600 for the year, then I need to make sure I take care of them by giving them a 1099 form for their taxes. And if it's under $600, then that form is not necessary. So that's a good question. So I can't find any good grocery wholesalers. Yeah, that could be frustrating. I've heard people that they've just gone to the grocery store and they've picked up grocery items, and on the back of the box says the grocery items, the company name and their address, and all of that stuff, and you can just reach out to them. How's the wholesale course coming? I finished the course that I was going through as a student. I've learned a lot. I'm contacting wholesalers, trying to set up wholesaling accounts, and it's the same thing with grocery. I know that finding a wholesaler is not the easiest thing to do. Well, actually, finding wholesalers are great, but finding a wholesaler that you can develop a long-term relationship with, that sells to online sellers, and that you can find items to sell on Amazon can be difficult, but it's something that it just takes time. And it's something that, you can outsource to a VA. Amy's got her course, VA for FBA. You can find out more about that at fulltimefba.com/VA course. But before I outsource it to a VA, I want to make sure that I understand as much as I can from contacting wholesalers and getting that process started. But I do know that, you just, with trying to contact wholesalers, you need to develop thick skin. You need to be okay with rejection. You need to be okay with them not ever returning your emails. Someone asked if I call them or if I email them. I set up all of my correspondence with wholesalers through emails. And I've had a few that have called me and left voicemails, but they've also emailed me, and we just stayed, we still stayed that communication on email. I prefer email over a phone conversation. I know a lot of wholesale accounts, they've been, the sales reps have been taught that they can close sales a lot better with, talking to a person on the phone. So they like to do the phone conversations, but they'll still do the email. So yeah, I'll find the contact information of a wholesale company, and I've got a little form that I've copy and paste, and just kind of enter in my certain information that I know that they would be interested in going, and just saying, hello, I'd love to carry a selection of your products in my store. What process do I need to go through to be approved to sell your items? If you've got a catalog, I'd love to be able to see it. Here's my resale certificate number in the state that I sell in. I'd love to be able to provide your products to my customers. And I send that to them. Some of them reply back, asking, are you an online seller? Are you a brick and mortar? And I'll always tell them the truth. I don't, lie or try to walk around it. If they don't want to sell to an online seller, I'm not going to try to trick them into doing that. And because I want it to be a good long-term relationship, especially if sometime in the future I'm ever accused of selling a counterfeit item that I bought from a wholesaler. Well, I want to be able to have the wholesaler tell Amazon, no, this person bought it from us. I can give them the copies, and I don't want that to be the first time the wholesalers find out that I'm an online seller, because some of them, they don't like that. So I'm always upfront with that. But it takes time. I've been able to get some documents that I've been able to go through and their catalogs to find things, and I've started to use certain tools that I learned in the course, and other tools to be able to find quality items. And yeah, sometimes when you are paying the minimum opening order, sometimes the best percentage off that they will give you is 50%. Sometimes it's more than that, but when you're just going to be doing the minimum opening order, that would be it. So if anyone says that their wholesale prices are 50% off retail, then my follow-up question would be to them, is there a certain price point or a certain quantity to order that would be able to bump it up to 60% or 65 or 75? Is there a certain investment from me that would help me to get a larger percentage off? So you can always do that, and they're always really good about being right up front with you. And sometimes they might tell you, yeah, you're going to need to make a $10,000 order to get 75% off, and you're like, okay, I'm not ready for that, but it's good to know for later. And others might say, well, yeah, you just need to do a $300 order instead of a $150 opening order, and you're like, okay, I might be able to do that. So always ask them. It's just like trying to negotiate with a store manager on some clearance items, or trying to negotiate at a garage sale for a cheaper price on something. You can do it with wholesalers too. I just, if I buy more, how can I save more money? So do you recommend a good trade show besides ASD? I have not been to a trade show yet, except I am using the ASD website to get ideas for for creating relationships with wholesalers. So ASD is the wholesale one. Hopefully we're going to be able to go sometime soon. We're also going to be looking for local trade shows. I think the best thing for you to do if you're wanting to visit a trade show is to find one that's going to be going on in your area. If you've got a large town next to you, or if you live in a large town, I'd look at what kind of wholesale conferences, what kind of trade shows are coming up in your area, and see if that fits with you. If it's like a home and garden, or if it's like, a toy show, or maybe it's a grocery show, maybe it's, home and kitchen show, even bridal show. I mean, there's all sorts of different types of stuff that are out there. Find something that's close to you. That way you're not paying for a lot of travel. You're not paying for, the food eaten out all the time, paying for the hotel rooms. It's something that you can just go there to the trade show and then come back, and then you have an experience that then sometime in the future you can go to a show like ASD in Las Vegas. And so that would be my first thing. But the thing is, I'm still developing relationships with wholesale vendors from the ASD show. And if you don't know what ASD is, it's like the largest wholesale convention show, trade show, like in the world. And it's held in Las Vegas twice a year. And you can go and talk to every single person in there for 4 straight days and still not go to every booth, still not talk to every single person that's there selling items for wholesale. But I'm skipping that section. I'm skipping that part. What I'm doing is I went and created an account on ASD so that as a buyer, and went in there and got access to the list of wholesalers, and I've just been going through the list and contacting them and saying what I told you earlier. Hi, my name is Steven, and I run a business called, this and that. That's not what it's called. But I'd love to be able to add your quality products to my store. Is there an opportunity for me to be able to get a catalog list? It really works. So yeah, it's free to register for an account on the ASD website. And it's funny, I actually got someone email me saying, "Hi, this is Donna. I met you at the show, and I, this," and I'm like, I didn't even go to the show, but I think it's a copy and paste that they have that they give to everyone who sends asking for a wholesale catalog or whatever, saying, "Oh, I remember you from the show." Like, yeah, I wasn't even there. So anyway, that's funny. But it's something to look into. Being able to use trade shows and their list of wholesalers for contacts. I've heard if you register for a show and can't go, they will give you a show. They will give you a show discount. Yeah, there's sometimes that you can, say to the wholesaler, because a lot of times they will do special discounts at the show for potential buyers. Yeah, there's sometimes that you can say, "Well, I wasn't able to make the show, but are you still offering a show discount?" So yeah, it's always something that it doesn't hurt to ask. So this is what I've been able to do. I use a service called OAX-Ray, and you can find out more about that at fulltimefba.com/OAX-Ray. And OA stands for online arbitrage. X-ray it's just what it does. It takes an X-ray of certain information. But what I do is I make sure that I ask the wholesalers for an Excel spreadsheet. And I can take that Excel spreadsheet and transition it into a comma-separated spreadsheet and upload it to OAX-Ray. And instead of me looking through thousands and thousands of listings and then going to Amazon, see if there's a match, then seeing if it's profitable, OAX-Ray does it for me immediately. And so I love it. I love OAX-Ray. It's a little bit pricey, but it literally saves me hours and hours a day. I mean, earlier today, I talked with a wholesale company. They sent me their wholesale catalog of 36,000 items. 36,000 items were in their wholesale catalog. And so what I did is I was able to take, I didn't do all 36,000, but I uploaded 2,000 items using OAX-Ray, 2,000 of this wholesalers' items up to OAX-Ray, clicked a few buttons, and it found Amazon matches. It told me the sales ranks, the categories, the ROI, the net profit, and through those 2,000 items that OAX-Ray looked through, there was only one item that was profitable that I could double my money on. So if I would have done that by myself, it would have taken hours and hours and hours, and I would have only found one item to double my money on. But with OAX-Ray, I was able, I'm turning into like an infomercial now. With OAX-Ray, I was able to, it only took like 3 minutes for it to scan through 2,000 items, find all the matches, and see what I was able to find. So that's something I recommend. And so check that out. It's good stuff. So okay, a blog post would be great. Plus, I'm driving and could not capture the link. Okay, the thing is called OAX-Ray. So you just think fulltimefba.com/OAX-Ray. It costs about $100 a month. I think it's about $99 a month for you to use OAX-Ray. I will try to, see if I can talk with them to see if I can get, full-time FBA readers and watchers a discount link, just to see if it's possible. I have no idea. I will try. But fulltimefba.com/OAX-Ray. And then you can use that. I mean, that's just one of the best ways to go through the wholesale, and not every wholesale seller is going to have an Excel spreadsheet. So some of them just send PDF spreadsheets, and so that takes a lot longer. But the ones that do Excel spreadsheets, you can upload to OAX-Ray. But that's not even the main reason OAX-Ray was made. OAX-Ray was made so that you can go to Target.com and go on a page and click the OAX-Ray button, and it basically turns the Target sales page into a spreadsheet that, again, matches every item with their Amazon page, gives you the sales rank, the category, the net profit, all the information that you need to buy it. So instead of you going one by one to check it out, it is very slow. And so, and for me, it just saves so much time. I'm able to find so many more items for reselling. And so, yeah, I need to do an online OAX-Ray blog post sometime soon to let everybody know about that, because they've got a bunch of different websites that they have optimized for OAX-Ray, and yeah, it will pay for itself over and over and over again. It's $99 because it's that good. I mean, it's you get, and I think they have a 3-day free trial. You can get a free trial for 3 days, so you can try it for free for 3 days and see how easy it is. I do recommend, if you do go through the free trial that they offer for 3 days, go to their YouTube page first. Go to the OAX-Ray YouTube page and watch some of their video tutorials so you know how to use it, so you don't spend the first day just learning how to use it. So, but online OAX-Ray, they've got their video tutorials to teach you how to do it. So it just makes most sense to learn how to do it and watch how you do it before you use the 3 days. So, and yeah, do the free trial when you really have time to spend on it. When we did our free trial, it was about to, we thought about starting a free trial on a Friday, and we're like, oh my gosh, why would we start on a Friday? It would be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We have, spending time with the kids, and we've got church, and we've got hanging out at the park, we've got, going swimming, and all different types of stuff. Like, no, we need to make sure that we have 3 days to really spend to best use that. So, okay, I'm not going to keep talking about it. I could, but I'm not, because I don't want this to be a whole commercial. I really want to be able to help you out with some of the other questions that you're wanting to answer, to have answered. So, this might have been covered in another Q&A, so I do apologize. Do you use a prep service? We do not use a prep service. We don't have any of our online arbitrage or retail arbitrage sent somewhere else to take care of. What we did do, though, is hire an amazing woman who comes to our house about once or twice a week to do all the prep work here. And so we taught her how to, take stickers off, how to polybag, how to, put the suffocation warning labels on, all those types of things. And so she comes here and she helps us out once or twice a week, and she's phenomenal. She's awesome. And we really love having her here. And so right now we're at the point where we have people come, and she's also starting to branch out to do some of our sourcing too. So she's not only doing prepping, but she's also doing some book sourcing for us. And we learned all about how to do outsource our book sales, our book buying process by following Ryan Grant's book, Outsourcing Sourcing, and you can find that at fulltimefba.com/outsourcing. And that'll tell you how we were able to set her up, to train her the best and set her up to succeed. And it's been really good and a lot of fun. So yeah, we don't have a prep service. We've thought about it with some of our online arbitrage stuff, but even though the prep services say that they inspect it to make sure that everything matches, we still like. We like to let other people do things, but there's still some things we want to stay in control of. And one of the things is just to make sure that the things that we ordered are actually what we ordered. We received shoes the other day that were all scuffed up, and we're like, okay, we need to return these because they looked used. How often do you send shipments? I think at least once a week, but most of the time twice a week. I'll take a trip to the UPS store and send off a box of like 5 big boxes or 10 big boxes or something like that. But yeah, 2 to 3 if we can. Sometimes it's just once, but most of the times it's 2 to 3 times a week we'll be sending stuff out. Because what it is I'll do usually one big day of retail arbitrage a week. One big day where I'm spending most of the day doing retail arbitrage. We've got our awesome helper going out and finding books, so she's bringing stuff in, and then we've got all of our online arbitrage stuff that comes in throughout the week. And so we've got stuff coming in all the time from the things that we're buying, and so yeah, we send out at least 2 large shipments a week. So and that's what we keep feeding the beast. And we do notice that when we stop sending in shipments, when it slows down, that then our sales start to slow down, because I know that Amazon likes it when we send stuff in. I can't find that many items from retail arbitrage. I do think that if you're having trouble finding items with retail arbitrage, you might want to try online arbitrage, because there are a lot of items out there, and of course OAX-Ray is a good tool to use to help with online arbitrage. But with retail arbitrage, I find that it's sometimes amazing filling up carts and things are awesome, and then other times I go out there and I can spend 5 hours of sourcing and come home with like 2 shopping bags instead of 2 shopping carts per stop. Always keep scanning. I always think about my mindset when I'm going in the store. I'm thinking I'm going to find some stuff. I always grab a cart before I go into the store, or grab a cart when I get into the store, and I'm thinking I'm going to fill this thing up. And if I go into a store thinking, you know what, I really hope I find something, but I'm probably not, and I'll just, I'm just setting myself up for defeat. But yeah, when I go into a store, I always check the clearance aisles. I check the in different stores, they've got clearance in different sections. Sometimes they'll have a main clearance aisle, and other times they'll have a clearance section with each individual department. And so I do honestly believe there's so many things out there. And if myself and another full-time reseller go to the exact same store, I guarantee you we'll both be able to find things that the other person couldn't find. Because a lot of times we just make assumptions. We make assumptions in our mind that, this isn't going to be profitable. I'm not even going to waste my time scanning it. But the time that you think that, that's probably not profitable, I probably shouldn't scan it, is around the same time that you could go, beep, okay, that's actually good. Oh my gosh. And so always keep scanning. Don't assume. We found this oversized item. It's like this big, and it's a piece of plastic with a sticker on it. And it was on clearance for $3. It's this big, maybe like this wide, piece of plastic with a sticker on it. I scanned it. I'm like, this is not going to be, worth anything, but I'm going to scan it. Selling for $3 at Walmart, but selling consistently on Amazon for $40 to $70, depending on if it's Q4 or not. And there was about 5 of them there. And I started going to every single store that I could to find it. And it's just a cheap piece of plastic with a sticker on it, but I've probably sold about, 75 to 80 of those that I bought for $3 to $5 that sell between $40 and $80. It's amazing. So just keep scanning. Don't make assumptions. After a while, you'll start to learn things that you can skip because you've scanned those things before. But even with that, you want to be sure that you don't wait too long, because what's not profitable in December could be profitable in July, and what's not profitable in October could be really popular in December. So okay, I saw a question that said, if someone's just starting out, is it the right choice to send all of your items to one warehouse? I think there's so many different strategies when it comes to inventory placement. If you're going to send all of your items to one place, or if you send them out to different places. I think if you have a very small amount of items that you're sending, like if you're only sending 15 items to Amazon or 20 items to Amazon, I think it might be a decent idea to have inventory placement turned on and pay a small fee. But you just have to realize, you're paying Amazon a fee. You're sending it to one warehouse. After it gets checked into that warehouse, it most likely doesn't go live. What happens is it's distributed to the warehouses that they would have told you to send it to in the first place. And so it takes longer for those items to go live on Amazon. It takes longer for you to get a sale. And it also, you know how prices go up and down. By the time it actually does go live, it might not be as priced as competitively anymore. I mean, the price could have gone up to, you might have priced it at $30, and by the time it goes live, the competitive price is actually at $40, but you've had it priced at $30, and you're missing out on something because you're not having it priced competitively. Or you priced it at $30, and by the time it gets there, a week and a half later, now it's down to $20, and you're like, and it never sells. So, and so, yeah, that would definitely, with online arbitrage, not work out very well, because you've got the time that you buy it, and then it takes a week or 3 days or whatever for you to finally get it, and then you have to send it to Amazon. So, we don't ever have inventory placement turned on. I do suggest that for people who are brand new with Amazon, sending in their first shipment or their second shipment, I would really say to, don't just do it casually where you have just a small amount of items that you're sending in. I would try to have your first and second shipment be the biggest shipments that you can. Have inventory placement turned off so that Amazon tells you which warehouses it goes to, so that boom, it hits all the warehouses, goes live immediately, and you get those sales. So yeah, time for a few more questions. Do you bundle? We do not do bundles. I know bundles are really good. We've done bundles in the past, but we currently do not focus on taking the time to find and make bundles, to make product pages for bundles. We don't do that right now. We've done that in the past, where almost out of necessity, we've had 3 Barbie dolls that were all part of the same series, and we're like, hey, let's put them together as a bundle. Why would someone go to 3 different product pages to buy these toys when they can go to 1 and just get all 3? So we've made bundles in the past. We've done really well with them. But we don't make it a focus of our business. Now, that's not saying that it can't be profitable. I know Amy Fearman, she periscopes at Amy_Fearman. She's trying to make it her goal this year to be 90% bundles. 90% bundles, because I know with bundles, it cuts out on a lot of your competition. So you're cutting out your competition by making bundles, and you're able to be in control of the title and the keywords and all of that. And so I know there's some good pros and cons for selling bundles, and for us it just doesn't work out for us, but for Amy Fearman, I know it does. If you go to fulltimefba.com /proven-bundles, fulltimefba.com/proven-bundles. It shows you all the things that I've gone through to learn how to do it, and set you up for success. So you can check that out. And yeah, it takes a lot of time, but it also saves you time from having to worry about competitors coming in and taking the prices. So just a few more things to think about. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And if you like this video, I'd appreciate a little thumbs up below. That'd be really great. And if you have a question or comment, you can do that below too. And if you are looking for any of the links that we talked about during the video, you can find those in the description below. They will take you right to where you want to go. Be sure you subscribe to this channel to be sure you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. We add videos all the time. And if you want to learn more about turning part-time hours into a full-time income with Amazon FBA, please go to fulltimefba.com. We got over 100 blog posts full of tutorials and walkthroughs and experiments and all sorts of fun stuff that will help you make a full-time income on Amazon with just spending part-time hours. It's awesome. So you can also get 2 free PDF downloads that will help making selling on Amazon that much easier. So you can do that at fulltimefba.com. Be sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the good stuff we send out almost weekly. I hope you're having a great day, and I will see you soon. Bye.